नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा संबुद्धस्स. Homage to Triple Gems, dear meritorious Dhamma friends. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to Buddhist education. Dear friends, today's subject is idol worshipping and Buddhism. A very sensitive and very important subject. Everyone must know it because Buddhism has been more misinterpreted than other school of philosophy. So let us know what is the idol worshipping or idolatry. So Buddhism is not based on any external supreme power that can give us the power or that can bless us, that can give us support. Not like that. Buddhism teaches us to know the inner potentiality of us and to emancipate ourselves from the suffering. So, let us discuss some disadvantages of idol worshipping, what we are seeing every day. Very good examples I can give. For an instance, we can take the example of, let's say, in rice field, in agriculture land, farmers, to protect his crops, his vegetables, rice and all these things, what he does what is things that is called effigy. Effigy is made by some straw and some sticks, and with the help of those sticks and straw they make an image, they make an idol, and they put it in the land, in their garden. So what happens? Birds come, but they feel as if the owner is standing there, and birds never come to the field, and the farmer protect its own land, his crops from the birds, because farmers cheats to the birds by creating some effigy. So idol worshipping also, nowadays in the society, idol worshipping is also creating an imaginary concept, a false concept inside us. Okay? And someone is exploiting people by the help of this idol, by the help of these images, by the help of this kind of imaginary concept. That's why this is a big disadvantages. This is the demerits of the idol worshipping. Because people starts to pray to the idol. People starts to beg to the idol. Devotees starts to pray idol, beg idol, ask for many things to the idol. Even he confess many things in front of the idol, but not in front of that person to whom he has committed the mistake. So dear friends, the matter is that if the idol worshipping is in this way, then it creates a falsehood. It helps to develop the ignorance and delusion in our mind. So this is not better, this is not good. That's why idol worship is not good at all. Another thing is there, in idol worship, devotees confine the presence of his own God, because idol is some replica. So devotee starts to confine his God within the idol only. So in backside of the idol, many wrong things he can commit, but in front of the idol he can show a very good images. So this is the very dangerous what is a effect of idol worshipping. By the introduction of this idol worshipping, priestcraft is developed and an agent works as a middleman in between the God and the devotees. And you know what is the activities of the agent? Agent always, cheat. So dear friend, idol worship is not good at all. That's why Buddha never promotes this type of idol worshipping. Of course, after 500 years of Buddha, the images were erected of the Buddha. And I think the first idol as a symbol of enlightenment were erected of the Buddha. Now, let us see what is the advantage of the idol. Here idol just reflects some qualities, and by seeing the idol, devotee starts to reflect all those qualities, starts to remember all those qualities. Suppose if you visit to any gym where people are doing exercises to have a good body shape, you can see all the portraits, all these images, all the photographs of the many bodybuilders of this world, you can see there. Why? Because by seeing them, they are motivated. They get motivation and they do more and more workout, and they get a better shape. If you see any player in his bedroom, you can see many pictures, many photos of many players are there. Mind works in 4 stages: Vedana, Sanya, Vijnana, Sankhara. These are the 4 steps mind works. So when mind works in according to these 4 stages, then mind creates some mindset inside. It takes images from outside and it creates images inside. Just an example, we take photographs of anything, any object, but we take it by the camera. Now the object is inside the camera. Okay? Before this object was outside, but now object is inside. So in this way, we always come in contact with the object, and we just like take photographs, and the object becomes the part of our inside mind, internal mind. Object starts to influence our other activities. When we remember any things, then we start to act like that also. So, if we take the wrong image in wrong way, then it influences our body in that way, wrongly. So, in Buddhism, we take the images of the Buddha, but these are not the idol. These are the symbol of, we can say, embodiment of 9 attributes. Here later we can discuss about the 9 attributes of the Buddha, 6 attributes of the Dhamma, and 9 attributes of the Sangha. So whenever we recite Buddha Vandana, it is called Buddhanusati. Buddhanusati means remember the qualities of the Buddha. When we remember the qualities of the Buddha, we start to reflect those qualities within us. And this helps us to attain the enlightenment. So this is the process. So that's why we never beg anything, we never pray anything, we never ask for anything to Buddha, just like please give us peace, please give us happiness, please give us a child, male child too, please give us, not like that. We always remember the qualities of the Buddha, and that's why it is properly said that Buddhists are not idol worshipper, but they are ideal worshipper.